Okay, so today we're going to be working in our notebooks, finding different multiplication patterns with different numbers. So we're going to do sixes together. So I'd like you to get out your math notebook, and you're going to do exactly what I did with this little chart with columns. You're going to have one column be the tens, another column be the ones, and here we're going to say multiplied by 0 times 1 times 2 all the way up until 10. Okay? For our circle, I just got a little cup and I made the circle around it, okay? So just find something that's relatively small, not too big. It could be some kind of a container, a cup, or something that you can use, okay? Now, we need to first draw numbers on here really evenly, 0 through 9, kind of like a clock, but with the numbers 0 through 9. So one trick that I like to do is I like to put the 0 at the top, and then the 5 is directly at the bottom, so I'm going to make a 5 there. So get out your math notebook and do exactly what I'm doing right now. Then for the other numbers, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 6, 7, 8, 9, we have to kind of just spread them out where we think is about evenly, to make sure that we have all of those numbers in there. If you need some help from your parents, you can get it. This is why I like to use a pencil, because if I make a mistake, then I can erase it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks about even. Maybe these spaces are a little bit bigger, but it's close enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on this side, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to split it into 4 dots or 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got after 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9, like that. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to use colored pencils for this part, because this will help me visualize, see where I'm moving, and also if I have to go through the same pattern twice, then I can see the multiple lines. So get out some colored pencils. And for our first one, we're always just going to be starting at 0. So if we start at 0, then we say we have 0 sixes, 0 tens, and 0 ones, right? We're starting at 0. So that since we're doing 6 multiplication pattern, we're counting by 6s. So when we start with 6, what do we do first? Oh, 0, 6. We count to 6. I would like you to use a ruler. I'm not using a ruler because I'm videotaping, but I'm trying my best to do really straight lines. So I'd like you to use your ruler. Okay? So if we go from 0 to 6, this is our first counting pattern. We say, okay, how many tens are in the number 6? Oh, there's 0 tens. And how many ones? We have 6 ones. Okay? So then we keep on counting. 0, 6, 12. Ooh, in the number 12, so that's 6 times 2, 12 has one group of 10 and 2 ones. So I'm going to go over to where the 2 ones is. We're going to pretend like all these numbers are the ones. And we're going to find where the next 1 is. So 6, 12, I know that I have to go to the 2 because that's the ones. We're going to focus on the ones when we're counting in this pattern circle. So all the way to the 12. Again, you're using a ruler. I am not, because I can't videotape and use a ruler at the same time. Okay? Now we're going to keep going. 6, 12, so 3 times 6 is 18. Again, we've got one group in the tens place, and we have 8 ones. So we're going to zoom in on the ones for this number circle, and we're going to find from 2, go all the way over to 8. Right over there. Okay, we keep going. You're doing this inside of your notebook right now also. 18, 24. Okay, so again, I have 2 tens and 4 ones. So I'm going to find the 4 and go to the 4 ones from 8 down to 4. And if you notice, it's starting to make a certain shape that you all know. 24. Okay, let's see, 6 times 5 is 30. So I look and I see, okay, 3 tens. I'm zooming in on the ones because that's what we're doing with this number pattern right now. And I see it goes back to 0. So I'm going to zoom right back up to 0. Look, it makes a perfect star. Okay, now I'm going to keep going. 30 plus 6 more, or 6 times 6 is 36. So I notice that I'm going from the 0 to the 6 again, but I don't want to use the red because I'm already used that and I want to show how I'm continuing the pattern. So I'm going to choose a different color. We can go from the 0 to the 6 with a blue. Okay. Then if we continue, 6 times 7 gives me to 42. So again, I'm going to go from the 6 to the 2. Ooh, nice. It's following the same pattern, it looks like. Let's see if it continues. 6 times 8 is 48. I go from the 2 over to the 8. Is it following the same pattern? Yes, it is. I hope you're using your ruler because my lines are not very straight or neat. Okay, 6 times 9 equals 56. So I'm going to go from the 8. Remember, we're just focusing on the ones. From the 8 to the... I made a mistake. Nope, it's not 56. That's why we use colored pencils, so I can erase them. 54, my mistake. 54, and I could see that I was going from the 8 to the 6, and that would not have continued the pattern, so I knew that couldn't be right. So from 48 to 54, now I'm going to go from the 8 back to the 4. And then, our last one, 6 times 10 is 60. And again, it goes from the 4 back to the 0. I'm zooming in on the ones place only. Back to the 0. Take a look. So, if I'm looking at this pattern, I see that it makes a star, but more importantly, I notice that the pattern goes from 0, 6, 2, 8, 4, and then it goes again, 0, 6, 2, 8, 4. So it kind of starts repeating over there. And I notice that if I look around the circle, I notice that counting by 6s means that we're never going to have an answer that had a product that ends in 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9. It's always going to be an even number, 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. So that's a pattern that I notice counting by 6s. So today you are going to be doing with a different number. You're going to be finding your own multiplication pattern. All of them will not look like a star. They'll look like many different things. So on the next page or on the slide from your teacher, you will see your name and which number you're counting by. But you're going to do the same table like this. You're going to do the same circle that looks like this. You're just going to be counting by a different number, so your numbers and your shape on the inside will look a little bit different.